So, if you are the Lakers, I mean, let's just say this. What superstar or star are the Lakers going to land?
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant?
Kevin Durant. No questions asked. Watch it happen.
No, Kevin Durant is not. Kevin Durant is a Knick. You rather like it or not, he's going to be a Knick.
We'll watch what happens. He's not going to New York. Nope. Everybody keeps saying that everybody's going to go to New York. You hear it all the time with Kyrie Irving. You hear the stories of Kevin Durant. You hear absolutely everything, right? But the New York Knicks do not have a proper organization, do not have a proper management team to actually know what they're doing. You can see this with Kristaps Porzingis. Kristaps was supposed to be the next best thing. And at the end of the day, they had no idea what they were doing there. They didn't know how to draft properly. They didn't know how to do anything with the free agency. They don't know how to control their money. They just think because they're New York, they should be able to have anybody they want. Not everybody wants to just go to New York. New York is cold compared to some of these Western teams. This is not going to be a good situation. And I'm telling you now, Kyrie and Kevin Durant are not going to be in New York next year.
So I get your point on that. So you don't think eventually it has to fix? I mean, they fired a couple of people.
Eventually it has to fix?
They got to get their shit together, because eventually they're one of the biggest franchises. I mean, who doesn't want to play for the Madison Square Garden? Everybody wants to show off.
Everybody wants to show out for Madison Square Garden, but nobody wants to play for the Madison Square Garden team.
Right, but that eventually needs to change.
It should change, but that's not going to change unless you actually change ownership. You actually change the management that's there. Patrick Ewing was there trying to help out the team with some picks and stuff. He was the smartest person in the room. The New York organization needs to actually listen to people that are serving that are actually intellects in basketball. They're not doing it.
I don't want to give up completely on the Knicks. I just feel like the Knicks, if they're able to land Kevin Durant, they're going to give Kevin Durant whatever he wants. Whatever he wants. I just feel like with all the changes that they've been making, they are going to eventually be a top-tier organization again. They're going to be it, man. I'm not going to give up on, especially this offseason. I mean, you'll be surprised. Trust me, you'll be surprised. Going back to the Lakers, I think the Lakers are going to either land Jimmy Butler, possibly Kawhi, or Kyrie. Yes, no. Kyrie.
Kyrie's going back?
Kyrie, yeah. Look, Kyrie, I love Kyrie, one of my favorite point guards to watch, but Kyrie is not a leader.
He's the best point guard in the NBA. He can finish with both hands. Kyrie is by far, okay, in my opinion, top 3. All right, I'll say
that's a lot better. That's a lot better.
Top 3 point guard, because he can finish with both hands. He's
Right.
So if you're actually a defender, you have no idea if he's going to go to his right, or
right.
Go to his left.
He's a great,
because he can finish on both sides of the ball. That's why he's so hard to defend compared to everybody else.
But my thing is, he's not a leader. He wanted out because he wanted his own team. You gave him a great team, great coach, great franchise. You weren't able to pull it off. You weren't able.
Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie is the Robin. He will always be the Robin. Even before LeBron came back to Cleveland.
Yeah, he wasn't really doing anything in Cleveland, to be honest. But he was also pretty young, inexperienced.
Yes,
I give it. He goes to Boston. They make it to the Eastern Conference Championship game.
Without him.
With him.
Without him.
He was cheering on the team. I saw them cheers.
He was in the bench.
This year he comes back. He's trying to help out the team. But let me finish this. Last year it was easier to get through the Eastern Conference than it was this year.
Right. This year you had.
So if you would have actually had the same team and you would have had Kyrie Irving, he would be in the finals.
Last year?
He would have been able to beat LeBron, in my opinion.
That's up for debate. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily think. I just think that Kyrie just doesn't have it. He's a great Robin, man. He can close out a game. He can finish with both hands. I think
it's the chemistry.
He's gotten a lot better with the passing.
Right. Phenomenal passer.
So I wouldn't mind if he goes back with LeBron. I don't think he would mind either.
You don't think he'd mind going back to
where else?
Robin?
He didn't do great being Batman.
He's going to do great things there. You just got to get rid of the chemistry issues that are going on in Boston. You got to get rid of Scary Terry and all these other individuals that think they can actually play. If you get rid of them, they're going to have a lot better team.
Terry can play, man.
Terry's your man?
Terry can play.
Yeah,
Terry can be a starting point guard. And
he has to learn that he can play from the bench. That's like Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony can play, but as long as he starts from the bench first. There is no way that these players should actually start
That
thinking,
didn't work out in
hey, I
Houston.
am better than Kyrie Irving. They started thinking that, and then they started saying, well, we're losing now. If I would have just started. That's not a team mentality. They do not have a team mentality to be able to help them. Their chemistry issues are going down. They have one of the best players in the NBA and one of the best coaches. And in the end, and at the end of the day, we will see Boston in the finals next year.
With Kyrie?
With Kyrie.
Kyrie
if
staying?
they do what I just said. If they do what I just said.
Kyrie staying? I don't know about that.
Give the man his money.
He's out. I don't think he's staying. I would be surprised if he does stay. Based on his body language and his expressions when they got eliminated in only one game, which was the first game against Milwaukee. I don't know about that. Now,
Milwaukee was a good team. Milwaukee could have easily been in the finals this year, too.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that one. I had after the Celtics got eliminated, I thought the Bucks were going to be in the finals. Surprise, Kawhi Leonard. You know. Anyways, so if the Warriors win without Kevin Durant, are his 2 rings, where do they stand? Are they don't mean nothing, or is it just like, are you out for sure because the team won without you?
So winning a ring is always going to elevate him. That's one. It will always make him look a whole lot better in perception. It's always going to be on his stat sheet. It'll make him look a whole lot better having the rings. Now, this is what I've always told people. Golden State does not need Kevin Durant to win a championship.
We all know that.
Does it make it easier? Of course it makes it so much easier. That means you can relieve some of the pressure off Curry. You can relieve some pressure off Thompson. You can relieve the pressure off basically everybody there. But they don't need him. If they win a ring this year, which they will without him, you can say goodbye to Kevin Durant. The only reason why he was on the team is because Golden State knew that the only way to win more championships is to get rid of Kevin Durant from Oklahoma City. That's the only reason why he's there.
Okay. That one, I'll give it to you. Now, if we look back at the resume, okay, Kevin Durant left in free agency to join a 73-9 team that didn't really need him.
Yeah.
You win 2 rings. Mm-hmm. There was no pressure. You get injured in 2019, and the team wins without you. So how would that look in your resume as far as, like, I think the only way he can redeem himself if he goes to a different team and wins. Because if this happens, which is most likely to happen, where they win without him, it is going to look very ugly for his resume. It's just going to look terrible. And Kevin Durant is an emotional guy. He's sensitive as hell. So this is something that's going to probably
so sensitive.
Yes.
He's a little crybaby.
Yes.
Look at the little cupcake thing that we did in Oklahoma City, and he cried about it. Are you kidding me? He's the most sensitive human being I know.
Yeah.
He's going to leave. I would love for him to go somewhere where he can actually have some really good talent. I would love for him to go to Sacramento. That's what I would like for him to happen. It's not going to happen. We all know this. He's going to go to another team that's just on the brink of winning a championship. He's not going to go to an actual team that really needs
let me hear some
to
teams.
actually develop him and to make him better.
Let me hear some teams. Clippers, are they a possibility?
Clippers have a chance. The Clippers are doing really good. They shouldn't have even been in the playoffs this year.
They gave him 2.
Yeah, they gave him 2 against Golden State. And wasn't Golden State having Kevin Durant that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. So the Clippers have a really good chance, and they have 2 max spots opened up. That's a possibility. You can even see the Lakers right there having a possibility.
Don't think he's going to the Lakers, but yeah, it's a chance.
Yeah, and he's not going to New York either.
We'll see. So those are your 2 teams, 3 teams? Well,
right
no,
now,
2 teams because you don't got the Knicks.
He's got so many opportunities. Basically, just look where any team has a max spot opening and they're on the
if
playoff
OKC
eligible.
clears some salary, which is not going to happen, would you go back to OKC?
If he even said he would come back to Oklahoma City when he got traded to Golden State for one reason, because it's cheap to live here in Oklahoma City. Property tax is so much lower. Taxes are going to be a whole lot lower. You know what, team? He actually, if I were Kevin Durant, he'd actually possibly go to a team whose taxes are at 0. That'd be a team in Texas. We got 3 teams in Texas, and all of them look like they're on the up and up.
I don't see him playing in none of the
He doesn't look like he's going to play in Texas to me.
Nah.
He really doesn't.
Even though he played college. He played
at the
University
of Texas.
Yes. I don't think he's going to Texas.
Yeah,
Nope.
I wish he would. He'd actually do something there. Now,
With what? What team?
with what team? All three of them. Are you kidding me? Dallas. They have brand new talent. They have open slots.
I would like to see him in Dallas.
He'd
No,
be
I'm
great
not
in
gonna lie.
Dallas.
I would like to
Would
see
he-
him in Dallas.
He'd be phenomenal in Dallas. San Antonio. If he was in San Antonio, they'd win a ring in 2 years. That's a bet.
I mean, with Popovich's system, I don't know if
with
he's gonna.
Popovich's system, he'd be phenomenal. And he doesn't really get that emotional on the court. It's only off the court that he's gotten emotional in.
See, here's the thing, man. I think the only way people can kind of adjust to Greg Popovich's system is if they get drafted by the organization. You're a new rookie. You got to follow orders. I just feel like a LeBron wouldn't fit with Popovich because he's so demanding.
What?
Kevin Durant, I just don't think so, man. Why Kawhi Leonard left? He was like, I had enough of this. Everybody
Kawhi
just
Leonard left because he said that they didn't believe him that he had the injury. There's a pop system here.
right.
He
And
wanted to make the
Greg
team
Popovich
better.
is one of the greatest coaches.
The greatest.
The
coach.
greatest. Okay, we can agree finally on something. The greatest coach.
Yeah.
But me, I don't know if, like I said, I don't know if these stars would want to play with him.
Well,
under
they
his
should.
system.
Look, Popovich's system is very simple. It's team first mentality, assist more, and you're able to actually do a lot of things. You're not going to be an all-star with San Antonio. You can look at Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan's probably going to live down as one of the best players in the
Yes,
NBA.
yes.
But nobody gives him the credit he deserves because he was playing a system ball. That's the main thing. You can also look at every single other player that they had. You can look at Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard, nobody had a clue how good this kid was going to be when he got drafted. He was the finals MVP, and people still didn't even know that. That's how the system works. He just needs okay players, and he elevates them to greatness. And apart from that, if a player goes to San Antonio, doesn't even get drafted, they actually go to San Antonio, and they play well in that system, look at them now when they leave the system. They get their money with another team, and they're not the best player that they used to be. If Kevin Durant went there, or even if LeBron went there, you'd actually see this team elevated and going places. The problem with San Antonio is a lot of people don't want to live in San Antonio. San Antonio is one of the biggest cities in the entire state of Texas. Yet, San Antonio does not get the credit it deserves. And I agree with Charles Barkley here. They have great churros down there.
Of course. Very interesting there. Very, very interesting as far as free agency and where Kevin Durant is going to land. I guess we just have to wait and see. But, yeah, I'm pretty sure this offseason, man, I think has been one of the most spiciest ones that we're going to see. Free agency starts in June 30th, and we're definitely going to be on it. So, to finalize this podcast, I got to talk about my Thunder, man. It's been a rough one. It was a roller coaster year for us.
It's been rough years, man.
And I'm going to just leave it to the director, the athletic director here. What is the solution for Oklahoma City going into next season?
Tank hard. Oklahoma City is filled with mediocrity. If you start making mediocre decisions, you get a mediocre team. Let's look at how mediocre they've been. They tried to make sure that they had one of their best players stay. They got Russell Westbrook, right? Beside that big contract.
Right.
With the big contract, it meant that you had an MVP caliber player. You had Mr. Triple Double. We're all in love with that, but it's not resulting in wins where it should be. It's not resulting in moving on in the playoffs. They've gotten to the playoffs every single year, basically, but they're always a first-round exit now ever since
agree
Kevin
on
Durant
that.
left. They have all this talent, and they can't do anything with it. They have Paul George, who's this year had a phenomenal year.
Yes,
Top 5
one of the
overall
best,
in the
one of the
NBA
best.
for the MVP race.
Defensive player of the year. Don't add me.
Okay.
It's not an argument. Defensive player of the year.
Okay.
He would have had the MVP if it wasn't the shoulder injury. He would have. He creeped up on everybody. Man. Had a great season. Come on, man.
Giannis is the number one MVP caliber player.
Not if it was for the injury. Not if it wasn't for the
Paul
shoulder
George
injury.
could have done so much better. And apart from that, you can also look at the win percentage. They were not going to give it to somebody that ended as a sixth seed in the Western Conference. They wanted to give it to
The
a
West
one
was
or
so
two.
close. It was so close.
So close to what? Still getting out of the first round? That's what he was close
I'm talking about record-wise. Record-wise, Skip. The West was close. It was literally 1 to 2 wins. You look, we were third the whole damn season, which we did slack at the second half of the season. We slacked, and we dropped down to 6.
Yeah, we dropped down to 6. And being there, this is what I mean by being mediocre, by the way. They had the greatest opportunity to be in the Western Conference Championship.
This was a perfect route.
This was their year to get
their bracket
at
was
least
perfect.
there. At least there. I'm not saying they would have beat Golden State.
Right.
But I'm saying they would have at least been there. They went up against Portland, who Portland does not impress me. They have never truly impressed me 100%. And then they would have gone up against Denver, a team that's still inexperienced, like I was saying before. And then they would have gone up against a juggernaut. Now, would they have beaten Golden State? No. They should have easily been Portland. They should have probably gone to game 6 or 7 against Denver and won there and been in the Western Conference Championship. But this team is mediocre, like I'm telling you before. They had some of the greatest people get drafted by Oklahoma City.
Yeah.
And they can't keep them. They can't do anything well with them. I'm telling you right now, trade Russell Westbrook because nobody wants to play with this kid. Trade
That's
Russell
not happening.
Westbrook.
That's the thing. You can say it all you want, but it's
And
not
it's
happening.
not going to happen. He has that player option.
If anything-
the no trade clause option.
Right.
He can go to whichever team he wants to. I would get rid of that contract, bring other individuals into this smaller market. They're going to be loved in Oklahoma City. Apart from that, you can also make sure that we can actually make good decisions. I don't even think that the coach that we have now is good enough to make this team get any better. Donovan is going to be in the Hall of Fame for the college series. He's not going to be in the NBA long.
See, he isn't too bad, but I thought we were going to make a change as far as the coaching goes. But if anything, if I give you my honest opinion, if anything, I'll get rid of Steven Adams.
You'll get for who?
I don't care. I'll look. I don't care. I would get rid of him for like a JR, a shooter.
What?
We need shooters. I'll include JR.
Possibly the best.
I'll include Steven Adams, and I like Steven Adams. I love him, man. But he hurts us. He's a big center that is old school post.
He does not hurt us.
He
Russell
does.
Westbrook hurt us.
In part, he does. Defensively, he does.
Look, it's not. No, it's not.
He's too slow. When you switch him against any guard, it's over. It's 2 points.
Okay, I want you to see these games. Every single time that you saw Steven Adams, he was basically up there, like top 5 in offensive rebounds. Can we agree on that? Offensive rebounds for his position.
Right.
Now, we look at the defensive side on the rebounds. He was nowhere close where he should be.
Right.
Now, the reason why you could actually point to Russell Westbrook on this, he's trying to get all these triple doubles. He's being Mr. Selfish, not Mr. MVP, making the team better. So instead of Steven Adams trying to be down there, it's Russell Westbrook, who's a whole lot shorter than Steven Adams, trying to get all these possessions. So if you actually said, hey, Westbrook, we're actually trying to win a championship, not you just being the MVP, that may elevate Steven Adams. Now, Noel, who his backup is, Noel is a hell of a player.
He's gotten a lot better.
Gotten a whole lot better.
Yes. And I think I would definitely create a starting lineup with him. And if I can trade Steven Adams, I'll do it.
Well, with the Oklahoma City Thunder, you see these players in the rotation.
Take Roberson with you while you're at it. Can't defend.
Who?
I mean, he can't shoot. Roberson, take him with you too. We got to trade him too.
Roberson.
He can't shoot. We got Westbrook. Come on, he can't shoot either.
Roberson is a phenomenal defensive player.
That's it. Can't shoot free throws.
They were doing so well before he got injured. If he gets back from this injury, and that's a big if, because he's
been
sat
2
out
years
for
now,
what,
2
a year
seasons.
and a half now?
2 seasons.
Basically 2 seasons.
Yeah.
If he can get back to the player he was, I don't think he can because these injuries are tough. They're hard to get back from, and getting back to the situation, the rotation is going to be really, really difficult.
Right.
If he can get back to that defensive caliber player that he was.
Where would you fit him? Because Ferguson got a lot better.
Yeah.
He's a better shooter, clearly. Jeremy Grant also got a lot better, and he's a better shooter than Roberson. So where do you fit him? They're both great
put him
defenders
in the starting
too.
lineup because you can say Grant got a lot better and other individuals got a lot better, but if you actually just moved one of them into the second lineup, that would mean that your second rotation would be a lot better. You'd be able to score a whole lot more points with that second rotation. So that means when all the starters get on the bench, that means, the Steph Currys of the world get on the bench for like 7 minutes or however long they're on the bench for. You're going to have a chance to make way more points happen with your second.
But the thing is,
rotation.
The only shooter there is Paul George. Westbrook can't shoot. Jeremy Grant is decent. Adams can't shoot.
No, he can't.
So how is that going to work?
Tank Central. I've been telling you this for years. Oklahoma City is a mediocre team, and they're only going to be a 7-seed team. If you stay as a 7-team seed, guess where you're going to end up every year? 6, 7, 8. You can keep arguing with me and say, hey, they were only so close that they were like, 2 games apart from being a 3, all the way down to being an 8 seed? You can keep looking at that, but they're not getting any better year by year by year. At this point, it's time to separate the team. And I could tell you so many things. I'm probably going to be the most hated man in Oklahoma City after this.
Why?
I said get rid of Russell Westbrook for years. I said Paul George, I would love to keep him, but he's not getting any younger. You'd actually get 28? Way more trade capability with him.
29? I mean,
yeah, 29.
Still got at least 4 to 5 years of
4 to 5 years. We're not going to win a championship in 4 to 5 years with him. You can talk to Indiana if you don't believe me. Look at how well they did when they were with him. They always get to the promised land. They get to the playoffs. They're 1 win away, and they can't do anything. And who do they have? Paul George.
If I am Sam Presti, the GM, whoever's making the big shots there, like I said, I'll get rid of Roberson. I'll get rid of Steven Adams.
Who wants Roberson, by the way? You keep saying, let's get rid of Roberson. And let's say we're on the same side. Roberson has shooters. A huge contract, and he was injury prone. Who's going to get it? Who's going to get that contract?
I don't know. I know there's going to be shooters available. We need shooters.
You don't
we got to work with what we got
by being the next Golden State.
Still. But if we can draw attention as far as Westbrook drawing double teams and Paul George drawing double teams, you can get the open man.
You should be able to get the open man. And then I still think about Houston, that they tried to do the exact same thing, and they were not successful. They are not going to be able to get these players that you just magically think are going to show up. You can say, we need shooters. Well, where are all these shooters at first place? If they were in the free agencies, somebody would have already gotten them by now. They're not magically at the door saying, I want to come to Oklahoma City. They're saying, I want to go to Los Angeles. I want to go to New York. I want to go to these big market
But if
teams.
I offer you a better contract than what
team.
Los Angeles or the other big markets offer you, you got to come. You definitely got to say, hey,
I'm going to have to come.
Well, I think it would be easier, if I'm offering you a bigger contract, I'm in Oklahoma City. Yeah, nobody wants to play here.
So you keep saying smaller markets, bigger markets, stuff like that.
Right.
So we can look and determine this situation. If you go to a big market, which many players always say, that's where I need to be, for some oddity or another, you're going to have to pay way more in taxes. And they might be getting all these $1 million contracts. And you could look at, let's say, Steph Curry, right? He got paid how much money this year? 28?
A lot. He doesn't get to keep all 28 million this year. He only got to keep close to 14 million, if even that, after taxes. And that's not counting his mortgage or anything like that, his house. So at the end of the day, that money is going to Uncle Sam. If he comes to Oklahoma City or a smaller market team that has taxes a whole lot less, players would rather go there because they get to keep their money. And apart from this, people keep thinking, hey, if I go to New York, if I go to LA, I'll get better shoe deals, better contracts. I disagree with that too. You can look at so many players. If they're talented enough, they're going to find the contracts. Contracts are going to come your way. Russell Westbrook, after all, he's got so many sponsorships. He's got Jordan sponsorships. Right.
He's got the 6-star sponsorship with protein. He's got many more things. You got Paul George with so many other things, and they're selling merchandise left and right.
The reality is, talking, when it comes to OKC and the Thunder, there ain't shit that's going to be made. There's not going to be made any drastic changes. Just by saying that you're going to keep Billy Donovan for another year just says a lot. I don't think we have enough to work around with. We don't have all we have to do is just work with what we have right now and see if we can figure it out.
You have some of the best fans in the world. You got Loud City. This stadium has been sold out for the past 6 or 7 years.
Yes.
It gets sold out every single time. And this is how we treat the citizens, the residents of Oklahoma, by giving them this, just a team that barely makes it. And we say, hey, we're not going to try and get any better. And when I say we have to get rid of Russell Westbrook, it's for the future. Right now, for the next 2 or 3 years, that nuclei, that central piece of Golden State is not going away. You could say we're going to get rid of Kevin Durant. They're going to get rid of Kevin Durant. They're going to get rid of Boogie Cousins. Guess what? Klay Thompson is going to stay. Steph is going to stay. Draymond is going to stay. And then they're going to build up that team with other individuals that are still top-notch talented players. So at the end of the day, Oklahoma City, if you just keep doing what you're doing, you're going to stay as 6th seed. You're going to make the playoffs, but it's going to be a first-round exit. I keep seeing all this time, like San Antonio, 22, 23 straight years that they've made it to the playoffs. But that does not ultimately mean that is the greatest peak of success. We want to make sure that this team gets to the finals, Western Conference, and actually the real ones. They're not doing that in the situation that they're in.
Yeah. I mean, you have a point there. You definitely have a point. It is reality, man. They're not going to do anything. OKC is not going to do anything, and they're just going to have to work with what we got. We're just going to have to. We're going to have to figure it out. If I'm Billy Donovan, knowing that I'm going to be another year, it's going to be tough. It is going to be tough, but I have to. There's something that has to be done with Westbrook. I just feel like he is hard to coach at times because he gets emotional. Like to let a Ricky Rubio get to you in a first round playoff matchup was just something that kind of blows my mind away. It's like, come on, man, you're better than that.
He should be better than that, but he's not. And that's an unfortunate situation.
And I love Westbrook, man. I just love how he's just that competitive, gives you the energy night in and night out. But he needs to work on that, and then they need to make him more of a – it's hard because they need to make him more of a point guard. And he's gotten a lot better because there's always been criticism, this year. Last year he's a ball hog. He was number 1 in assists. This year he's shooting, his shooting percentage. He's a terrible shooter. There's always going to be something said about Russell, but I feel like if he goes into that role of more of a point guard – and makes better shot selections, they might have a chance. And stop the damn the stat padding. I mean, it's not easy to average a triple-double for the 3rd straight season, but damn it. Stop it. It's
difficult.
It is.
Triple-double.
But damn it.
If everybody could do it, everybody would do it. That's one.
But that's my thing is like Westbrook would not defend his opponent because he was down in the rim trying to get a rebound.
Right.
So he needs to work on that. Look. Westbrook is going to be a Hall of Fame. Westbrook is going to be one of the greatest. He's going to be remembered because he scored average triple-double for 3 straight seasons.
Right.
So focus on now trying to win a chip. You're going to be remembered, my guy.
Russell Westbrook reminds me of Allen Iverson in so many ways. Allen Iverson is at his time possibly the greatest player that everybody wanted to watch. I'm saying like best NBA player.
Right.
Not best, but everybody wanted to watch him. Night in, night out, he gives you 110%. He'll put his body on the line, and he is a phenomenal player. But he's not doing this to make the team better, and that's unfortunate. This is why I keep saying, if you want success, you're going to have to get rid of him. And it's a hard pill to swallow for people because he is beloved in Oklahoma. I was a teacher at Oklahoma Centennial, and with his Why Not Foundation, he gave the kids brand new shoes. He helped out so many people in the community. He is one of the best philanthropists that this state has ever had, just helping out local urban communities as well as many other parts of the state. And it's hard for me to say that, but it's a true statement. If Oklahoma City wants to be better, they're unfortunately going to have to get rid of him. Or they're going to have to make drastic decisions and tell him, hey, you got to slow it down with some of these things. You actually have to pass the ball, and you shouldn't be the one taking a 3-point shot with the time running down to win a game. Because it happens here and there, but out of 10 shots, he's probably only going to make 2. Actually pass the ball at the end. You don't need to be Mr. Everything.
Okay. Well, just to finalize this segment, we've been here almost an hour, so we're going to close this up. Oscar, it's not going to happen. Westbrook is not getting traded.
He's not.
But there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. First episode of the Half Court Podcast, and I can say it's been a success. Oscar, thank you very much
pleasure,
for stopping by, man. I think this is going to be quite the podcast, and you guys, if you are still watching this, your feedback really means a lot to me. So make sure you leave a comment on what you guys think down below. Any feedback will help me improve a lot. So Your boy D to the Win is out. Catch you on the next podcast. Peace.